Hey everybody, welcome to Friday night, I think it's Friday night, at Raincross Farms Makery. My name's Robin. Come on into our craft studio. Behind the computer, behind the camera, seen, not seen, but heard is my husband Bill. And we are finishing up a fun project for you tonight. So come on in, say hello. That's what you're required to do as soon as you pop in. Say hello so we know you're watching. And it's a requirement. I tap tap. I say so. So I'm going to pull this live up on my phone, maybe, so I can see comments up a little bit closer. There we go. Turn down the volume. So say hi. Thanks for joining us on a busy, maybe end of your week. And hopefully you are done with work and you are looking forward to a nice weekend. So thanks for joining us. If you are here with us, we would love it if you would love our page, follow our page if you haven't already followed. Last night we hit 1,600 followers, so that's exciting for us. And we'd appreciate it if you would sprinkle out our video to friends you know that might be interested, or just to your page in general, or if you're part of a craft group. It helps get our videos out there in front of more people, and we really appreciate that. We also have our stars activated, so we appreciate all of your support in any method. So hi Liana, hi Cheryl, hi Lois, welcome everybody. So if you are watching live, there'll be a red box up here, and that tells you are watching us in real time. If that box isn't there, you're watching the replay, and that's okay. We love having you. Feel free to fast forward through if you want to, but anyway, we would love it if you would comment #replay so we know when you popped on. So if you have been following us for the last couple of days, we have been working on our tiered tray project. So here's what we've gotten so far. So the first night we made the tiered tray, and it was all blank. It was whitewashed, and so we toned down that bright white with some antique wax, like this, and then we chalked on a little design there in the middle. So here's our two designs. So it looks fancy. And then we started on the little goodies that go on our tiered tray. So what we did yesterday is we worked with our essentials kit, and that comes with this little mini rolling pin, this little box frame, this little mini cutting board, this little frame, stand-up frame, and then this piece that is made to look like a book stack. And so we did this one. We painted it up. We did it on both sides. So this side says Farm Fresh Pumpkins. This side says Fall Candles, Cozy Blankets, Sweater Weather. So it's kind of interchangeable. Change it out. And then we did one side of our mini cutting board, and we did them from this transfer here with all of these cute little sayings and graphics, and we're going to do a little bit more with this before we call it done. So on this side we did the Pumpkin Kisses and Harvest Wishes. We did that in Currant Jam, and we haven't done anything on this side, so I think we're going to do something on this side tonight. And on this one we did Leaves Are Falling, Autumn is Calling. We did that in our Shimmer Copper. We didn't do anything on this side, so we'll probably do that. On this one we did just Home in black and pesto green. And then on this one we painted the background in Shimmer Harvest, and then Give Thanks in black. And it's not meant to do something on this side, but we're going to do something on this side too. And in addition, so we're going to do the backs of all of these. In addition, we're going to use our other set of autumn cutouts. So we have here a pumpkin cutout. We have an acorn cutout, and we have a maple leaf cutout. So we are going to do those, and we have a special transfer just for those. So it comes with those three, and then it comes with some backgrounds. And I'm actually going to use one of the backgrounds to show you how you can use this. Sound good? Okay, so how was your week? Did everybody have a good week? Ours kind of went by fast, but we're retired, and so weeks mean something different than it used to, than when we were working. It's like, okay, tomorrow's the weekend. Not much different than today. Okay, let's see. What shall we do? Okay, so we're going to do the back of this one. We're going to do the back of this one. And we're going to do the back of this one. So let me set that aside. And I think I'm going to paint this. I could leave it that wood color, but I think I'm going to paint that. And I think I'm actually going to paint this side too. And this one I'm not going to paint because that's chalkboard. So let me get out a sheet of paper and let me get out a paintbrush. And we're going to get to paint. And I think I'm going to paint these. I think I'm going to paint them the dune, the light almond color. And I don't want to paint this frame, so I'm going to tape that off so I don't paint that. And we're just going to paint it with our chalk paste. So if I need to, I can thin it down to get it that paint consistency. If I don't need to, I'll just paint it out of the jar. Cheryl, no, don't do it. Don't do it, Cheryl. I know how you feel, though. Maybe pace yourself. Is there one piece you want to start with? Okay, so get this blocked off just with painter's tape so I don't accidentally paint that border. And I think this is probably thin enough that I don't need to water it down. If I did water it down, I would use distilled water. And I would do that so that if I had any excess, I could put it back in my jar and not be worried about it being contaminated and growing funky things inside the jar. Nope, I want the whole shebang. Well, do you have a birthday coming up? I was going to say, I'm having a sale on it right now, but that doesn't do you any good. You already get better than my sale because you are a designer.
Wait a minute. Go back on that.
Go back on.
The designer thing. They just changed all that.
Yes, they just changed it.
Easier to be a designer than ever?
Easier to become a designer.
How does that whole thing work
Okay.
again?
It used to be, if you wanted to become a designer is somebody who signs up with the company. And in a lot of companies, it means you are committed to sell stuff. We don't require that. Being a designer gets you 40% off. That has not changed. But it used to be that you had to spend like $100 to get a starter kit. And once you had that, then you had your discount in place. Well, they have done away with that because not everybody needs a starter kit. A lot of people have been customers for quite a long time, and they have quite a bit of supplies already, and they don't really need a starter kit. So they did away with that, and so now you can become a designer, meaning you get that 40% off instantly, for just a $9.99 enrollment fee, a one-time $9.99 enrollment fee. So it's an awesome deal. There's a couple other things. If anybody out there is interested in more about that, I'm not gonna spend the whole time talking about that because that might turn some people off. But if you're really interested in getting 40% off, not necessarily doing what I do, but you're certainly welcome to. Again, they never pressure you to sell anything. You can just become a designer for the 40% discount for just your own personal purchases. So if anybody is interested in learning any more about that, just make a comment and I will get with you. I have a special Facebook group that gives a whole lot more information about that. Got the tiered tray. I didn't get the accessories yet, but you will one day. Well, good. I mean, these aren't the only place you can get accessories, but I like them because I have designs that match them, and I get them all in one place in one shot. Okay, did I explain that enough? I kind of got a little distracted.
Hey, Sherry.
Sherry? I just want to say hi. No, I'm sorry you're not feeling good. At this time it was 98. It's 73. Oh my goodness. Sometimes that makes you not feel so good when you have big swings in the weather. Okay, so I'm going to peel that off. I didn't get it on my border. And I'm going to just dry it. No rain in sight. Cheryl, are you having any fires up that way? Dropped to 108. I forget how hot it was here. 106 or something?
You're 108 at 4 o'clock.
I just heard on the news that this was a record-breaking day. This was the highest temperature for a July 29th in our area. So that's something.
Any sound for some reason here.
No sound?
With that
What's
running.
this one? That one's giving me no sound with that running?
Yeah, for some reason your voice wasn't coming through. Normally
Okay.
it comes through over the top.
Okay, so I've got that dried. Now this is a little bit rough. So I'm going to just take my little sanding block and I'm just going to kind of sand that down, smooth it down. This backside isn't particularly well finished because it really isn't meant to be chalked on, but there's no reason why we can't. We're just going to kind of sand it down and smooth that out. And while I'm at it, I might as well give this a quick sand. Now this, I think I'm actually going to kind of sand around the edges to give it kind of a weathered look. And that's the nice thing we can do about our wood pieces, is they look really awesome with that wood showing through. That'll just kind of give this a little bit different look.
This is sounded fine for her.
Well, good. So maybe it was just you. Maybe your batteries are going out.
Nope.
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 Nope. Okay, got a little bit on the
That's
edge.
all right. As long as we work.
Okay. Trying to get a little bit more of that edge showing through. And then in just a second, I'll show you what I did. Okay. It doesn't show up too well. You can kind of see where I've just sanded off. You're going to go overhead? Okay, you can kind of see where I've sanded off some of the paint off the edges, just to kind of give it a little an aged look. Okay. So let me set that aside, and we're going to do this back. And because I painted this and because it's wood, I'm going to wax it. So I've got my clear surface wax. Okay, good. I'm glad the sound is not a problem. We don't need any problems. And I'm going to take a little bit of wax. You don't need a lot. You just need a little bit so that the sticky transfer doesn't pull up this freshly painted surface. And also when you're using wood, you have natural wood grains, and this kind of spackles them, kind of fills them out, flattens them out. Okay, and this one, we're going to do the same. Wax, 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 wax. Wax on, wax off. Okay, now I'm going to buff it off just a little bit more. If you feel it, if you can feel the wax, it feels sticky, then you still have too much wax on. It should just feel smooth and not sticky at all. Good, good, good. Good, 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 good. Okay, so those of you that are my designers, would you guys be up for a Zoom call sometime in the next week? I have some things I want to share with my designers, but I don't want to do it one at a time. I'd rather see if you guys would all be willing to hop on a Zoom call and I can tell you what I want to tell you. So let me know if you think that would work out for you sometime. Okay. This one we are going to do, let's do this one first because I'm going to put a background on it. This transfer has some little background pieces. They're not huge, so they're not meant for a huge area, but they can be tiled, so you can connect them if you need to. And I don't want to completely cut this apart. I don't want to cut apart the backer sheet. So I'm going to just take my craft knife and I'm going to just gently, can you hear that? I'm cutting through the threads on that cut line, but yet I'm not going through to the backer sheet. I want to make sure I got that all the way. So I'm barely pushing it all. And I'm just going to cut these apart. That way I can put the smaller pieces back on the entire backer sheet. And not have
says
to.
any day is good for her, and Deanna says any day except Tuesday evenings.
Okay. We'll have to check with my others. I'll see if somebody else pops on that's a designer. Okay. So for this one, I'm going to use this transfer. It's just some little either horizontal or vertical lines. I'm going to use it vertical. And first time I'm using it, so I'm going to fuzz it.
Put it over the top and you went out of that picture.
Sorry. Can't you read my mind?
I've been trying for almost 40 years
Okay.
and still hasn't worked.
What color do I want to do this? I want it. I think I'm gonna do the camel. I want it subtle. And let's see. I'm trying to get it as close as I can. And so I've got it centered. I'm pushing out any air bubbles. And I want to make sure that I don't chalk over that border. So I'm going to put some, I could use placement tape. I'm just going to use I'm just going to use painter's tape, and I think I can avoid that one on my own. Okay, so our camel is kind of a medium brown. I just kind of want it to be subtle. I don't want a lot of contrast. And then we're going to chalk our words over it. Okay, take off the excess, scrape it off, and let's peel this up. Pretty, see what that did?
Overhead.
There we go. Okay, so just gave it just a little bit of texture. Get my drying mat out. And I'm not ready to clean these, but I'm going to spray it so the paste stays damp. That helps me when I go to clean it if it's not dried in there. Okay, so I'm going to give this a dry. And then we'll put down our next. Well, we'll wax it again because I want to pull up any of that design. And then we will put one of our transfers over the top of this. Make sure that's good and dry. And I'm going to set that aside. We're going to go to this one now. So this one says Pumpkin Kisses and Harvest Wishes. So I think on this one I want to do the pie because that kind of goes with a cutting board. Maybe chopping up the apples or whatever. So I think I'm going to do that pie. So I've already trimmed these apart. So now there's not a ton of, there's a lot of screen in this, but hopefully around the edges.
We will be happy to, Ken.
Ken's here. Sure, let's all just start over. Okay, so
Anything for Ken.
got the pie. It's not a pumpkin pie, but it could be. Well, it couldn't be because you don't put a top crust on a pumpkin pie. But Ken apparently likes pumpkin pie and pumpkin cookies and pumpkin bread, or so I'm told. Right, Ken?
I think that has been stated once or twice.
Once or twice yesterday. Okay, so my pie is generally brown, right? Shall I do a brown pie or is that boring? I don't want to do a green pie.
Wow. And cookies.
Wow, she's forgotten you. Ken, this is Cheryl. Cheryl, this is Ken. And no, this is not the dating game. Okay. I don't want to do this deep dark bark. I'm torn.
No, you're not.
How about, oh, you know what? Let's add some color. Let's do the bottom of the pie plate in our current jam. And that'll kind of go with that. And then we'll do the top in the camel. And then we'll do the little steam things. What should we do the steam things in?
The what things?
The steam, the little steam marks coming out of the top of the pie.
Repeat the, what color were you going to do the top
Cur-
in brown?
Yeah,
You repeat the cranberry, whatever
Okay.
color that is.
current jam.
Repeat.
Okay, repeat.
Repetition is a
Repetition.
sign. It's a good
Okay.
thing.
So I'm going to, first of all, this is kind of thick. I noticed that yesterday. I'm going to thin it down, so I'm going to take some
Shimmer silver would be nice too, but I'm worried
I'm gonna-
adding too much.
take some distilled water. I don't know if silver would show up. I could do maybe, oh, this kind of matches. This is the Shimmer Harvest, or I could do Shimmer Copper. We'll do that for the steam. Would look good, but I don't think it's enough contrast. Okay, so I just took some distilled water and stirred it up to thin this out a little bit. And I'm using my multi-tool because it's got a smaller little edge for a squeegee. So it helps me get in these tinier little spots easier.
Oh, you know what? When you get done with this stuff, you need to stop and show everybody your apron.
Oh,
Because you didn't tell everybody about that.
well,
You did yesterday, but not today.
yeah, well, I wasn't wearing it yesterday. This is my apron that I made out of a man's shirt. It was not Bill's shirt. I bought it at a thrift store because Bill pretty much got rid of all his shirts that he doesn't wear, so he didn't want me to chop up one of his good shirts. Okay. My paste is kind of thick, so I don't want it to dry in there, so I'm going to do a paste and peel.
That looks like a red bar.
It looks like a pie plate, and it is kind of pulling up, the paste, but that's okay. It's meant to kind of look rustic because it's got some little spots in there. And I'm only going to push down where I haven't already pasted, and I'm going to switch over. I'm going to continue to use this, but I need to clean it off. I'm going to do this in our, what color was this? Camel. I do this in camel because it's kind of pie crusty colored. Do you know pie crusty colored?
And don't you forget it, Ken.
Yeah, I could have done it with flannel.
I have all flannel shirts and I have all Carhartt t-shirts. So during the summertime, I'm wearing t-shirts all the time, and
Okay. I think I'm going to do copper. 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 I'm going to do Shimmer Copper for those little steam lines. Okay. So let's peel this off, see what it looks like.
okay, now go. Yeah, repetition was the right thing.
Woohoo! Look at that. So
Good
my
job.
steam lines are a little slightly different, slightly darker. Maybe, I don't know if it shows up on the computer, and they've got shimmer to them. Okay. So there's my pie. And I'm going to quick dry it. Okay, so one side says pumpkin kisses and harvest wishes, and the other side has my cute
Has
little
pie.
pie. My cute little pie. Okay, so I'm going to set that down there. And let's see, let's get back.
3.14.
Let's get back to this one. Now, that is dry. I'm going to wax it though because I just put down some paste. And I don't want to pull it off with a sticky transfer. Say again, just don't take a lot of wax. And this side is that gold and black. Not that you'll see both sides at the same time. Okay, top. What am I going to put on this?
I don't know.
Should I do the Thanksgiving blessings?
Surprise us.
Let's do the Thanksgiving blessings. We haven't done that one. So I'm going to fuzz a bit, and I think I'm going to do this in the pesto. Pesto. You know what? Maybe not. The pesto's a little thin. You know what? I think what I'm going to do. The last time I used the pesto, it was a little bit thin. So what I need to do is leave that out opened. Need to leave it out opened so that it will kind of evaporate some of the excess moisture off. But in the meantime, I'm going to use another jar of pesto. And I'm going to stir it up. This is much thicker, like it's supposed to be. If your paste is too thin, you can have problems with it bleeding through, which is not a good thing. And especially because I now kind of have a textured surface with that, with those lines that I put in. That is even more of an invitation to bleed. So I'm not going to push hard with this. And let's see how that shows up. Peel it off. Ooh, pretty, pretty, pretty. Thanksgiving blessings with a cute little pattern in the background. Okay. What are you thinking so far? You like? Does everybody like?
I do, you do, baby.
I hope I'm not making you feel bad if you can't, if it's not in the budget yet. And I don't think we get paid until Monday. When we were working and the end of the last day of the month, we'd get paid on the last day of the month. But when we were working, if the last day of the month landed on a weekend or a holiday, they would pay us the business day before. Now that we're retired, it's like, yeah, you're going to wait until the first day after. Okay.
They don't think it's so important.
No. No. Okay, so I've got this one done. I've got this one done.
Cheryl says she's going to exercise that credit card tonight.
No, Cheryl. I don't want you to go into debt. I do want you to have nice things, but I don't want your nice things to have you. Okay, so this is Leaves Are Falling, Autumn is Calling. So I liked this little wagon, and this wagon has apples in it. We're not going to do the apples. We're going to do leaves because we have a little design for leaves. We also have a little design for pumpkins. Or should I do pumpkins? What should I do?
I don't know.
Because this says, not that you're going to see them both together. I need you to vote. Ken got paid yesterday, Cheryl. Use his credit card.
Maybe Ken will buy it.
Okay, so this side says, leaves are falling, autumn is calling. So that's why I was thinking leaves in the wagon. But you're not going to see both of these at the same time. So you tell me, what do you want to see in the wagon? It comes with apples, but I don't have to use that. I can do fall leaves or I can do pumpkins. So tell me, vote, vote, vote.
Is the majority of your stuff for fall?
Yes, this whole thing is for fall.
You already have other pumpkins on there, right? I mean, you have the big pumpkin cut out.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have a pumpkin, and then I will probably put some other little pumpkins on here.
So do the apples.
Do the apples?
Spread it
Okay,
out.
Bill votes for apples. Liana votes for leaves. You might get outvoted here.
Whatever.
Wouldn't be the
It
first
wouldn't
time?
be the first time, and I've been outvoted with just you, so.
That's true.
You know.
Okay, so remember, I don't want it directly in the center vertically because somebody woohooed something.
I will
I
move.
don't know. Now I want to find out who not one of you guys, but
Cheryl says apples and Ken says apples.
okay.
Is there
Liana, I
agreeing?
think you're outvoted on this one.
Or Duke.
Okay, but I'm not going to do red apples because I don't have any red on here. I'm going to do current jam apples.
Current jam apples.
Current jam apples. Jammin' apples.
Or we could just use Duke on there. That's what Ken
Okay.
said. I like that idea.
Or should I do green apples?
That might be
I'm
a
making
thing.
this so
Do
hard.
some pesto. Do some pesto apples. Do some of each.
No, that's got green leaves, so
Whatever.
I need to do green leaves.
You're a big girl. You make up
Okay.
you make
This
up
is
the rules.
becoming
Go.
difficult.
This is not supposed to be difficult. It's supposed to be fun.
I'm looking for my detail tool because it's got an even teenier, tinier. Tinier. Okay. Well, I'm going to start with the leaves. So I'm going to do those in pesto. And these are just little itty bitty teeny tiny stems and leaves. Probably won't even matter. But I'm still thinking how I'm going to do this. So I've got some green on there on the leaves and stems.
Hey Ken, what's for dinner?
Okay, paste and peel.
Uh-oh, over the top. Hold on.
Oh, you can't see it. It's just teeny tiny.
It's teeny tiny.
It's teeny,
I can't
teeny,
see
tiny.
that.
Teeny tiny. In fact, so teeny tiny that didn't even show up. Okay. Super, super teeny tiny. I should probably have just done them red. Okay. Anyway, so let me give it a quick dry. Lay this back down. I'm not going to push down where I just chalked. I think I'm going to do the apples in currant jam. And they're kind of small, so I'm going to continue using my detail tool.
Crawfish po' boys. Ken's having homemade burritos. Cheryl says they're having crawfish po' boys. We had the homemade burritos for breakfast this morning.
Well, we had breakfast burritos. We
Yeah,
could have
that's what you have for
chimichangas.
breakfast, right?
We could have chimichangas.
Ken, are you doing anything particular at Oak Glen? He says he's going to be there for 11 days.
What's in Oak Glen?
You doing anything particular? You doing the mountain man look, or what are you doing up there?
Camping? 1,000 Trails?
1,000 Trails is not camping.
You
Well,
can
I
do
guess
it
it could
camping.
be.
You could do it camping. Okay. So I've got my currant jam apples. My jammin' apples.
Mountain Man Rendezvous.
Okay.
Make sure you take lots of photos this time, too, because it was fun looking at your photos last time.
Try those. Okay, and our wagon, I think I will do in, I've done enough of that tan. I think I'm going to do it in Shimmer Harvest, Shimmer Copper.
Yes.
Don't do that to me.
You're supposed to have all this planned out. This is why you make the
No.
big bucks.
I make big bucks?
You make the big bucks. I have to just sit here behind the camera
Looking
look pretty.
cute. Okay. Okay. We're gonna do Shimmer Copper because I've already got a little doodad for it. So when it's tight quarters, just slow down and stick your tongue out just right and take your time. No hurry. And especially on this surface, if you make a mistake, this is a reusable surface. So you could just scrape it off and redo it. You could scrape it off and redo the whole thing at any time. So when autumn is over, I can reuse this little piece for Christmas. Okay. So here we go. Peel that up. There's our little wagon with apples, and you can barely see those little green stems and
That
leaves.
looks good.
But by golly, I did them.
You did them.
I did them. I
So
done
proud.
did them. Okay. Spray that down.
Ken says he keeps losing the volume. Hey, don't forget, Ken, I have a, well, I've taken it off, but it's not registering. Anytime that fan goes on and she's holding the dry stuff, that thing turns off the air.
Turns off
turns
the
off
noise.
the sound a little bit. So.
Okay, so here we go. Leaves are falling, autumn is calling, and our cute little wagon with apples. Okay, so that is it for those essential pieces. So let's go to our other three. And I might be using any of these colors, so I'm going to leave them out just where they are. Yes, I am going to use that. No, I'm not going to use that. I might use that. Talking to myself and feeling fine. Is that the words? Rainy days and Mondays.
That's Tuesday.
I'll put some chimkin on the grill. Oh yes, I did.
You did. I heard you.
I did take it out of the fridge so it can come to room temperature. Okay, let's see. Let's do our acorn, and it does matter which way because the stem goes one way. I need to make sure I'm using it the right way. Now I could use some of these patterns on the back too if I wanted to. Okay. Now I'm not going to paint this. I'm going to leave it white because most of this is open screen. So I need to see. Oh, almost got it right from the get-go. And it's meant to just be really close to the edge, but not right up to the edge. So there's just there's going to be a slight little white border. Okay, so I'm going to do the cap of this in bark, and I'm going to do the nut part. Should I do it in harvest or copper?
No, in copper.
Copper, okay. Apparently copper it is. Okay. So I'll take my Shimmer Copper. I'm going to start with the Shimmer Copper because it takes longer to dry. So I won't have to do a paste and peel.
I'm sorry, I was reading. What was that?
I said I'm doing the copper first so that I don't have to do a paste and peel because the shimmers take a little extra time to dry. So I have a little extra working time. And let me get out. This one needs to be stirred a bit. And this is our bark. This is our deep brown.
Shimmy.
Shimmy. Shimmy.
Shimmy, Cocoa Pop.
Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, shimmer, Cocoa Pop. Puffs.
You guys are insane.
Thank you. Hey, we're the ones sitting here watching paint dry.
Paste to dry.
Either way.
Okay. And let's reveal this. Cute. And it's meant to have, that's not splotchy. It's meant to have that because it's got some transfer spots. It's meant to look a little worn. Not meant to be solid, so that's cute.
You think right now I know how to redo mine.
Now I could do the other side, the exact same thing. I would just have to leave off that stem. And maybe I could paint the stem on later. Or I could chalk through my transfer upside down, backwards. But I'm not real good at that. I should have to practice that. Okay, so we've got that. Okay, next we're going to do our pumpkin. And again, it's got a little curly Q stem, so I need to make sure I'm using the right side. And again, you know, I'm not even going to fuzz this because so much of this is screen. There's not that much to stick. Okay, so let's see. The stem is brown, or should I do the stem green? Stem green, right?
Go ahead and do
Because
it
it's
in
just
green, but
freshly,
we all know that it goes.
it's a little freshly picked, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We drove by the pumpkin field today. They grow the pumpkins right off of our highway, and they have a field that they grow in. And I looked out and said, "Hey, are those pumpkins growing yet?"
Yep.
They're there. They're not orange yet, of course.
Okay, so I'm using my little tools to get in that little area. I listened to somebody who was saying she takes it as a challenge to not use the little tools. She just tries to go really slow and get the edges. I don't care to be that challenged.
You know what? There's some people that like to go out and run for miles and miles too.
Yeah. That's just ridiculous. Say the fool runs when no one is chasing him.
Uh-huh.
So unless I'm being chased, I'm probably not running. Okay. And on the pumpkin, we're going to use papaya. And I'm going through my squeegees here. It helps to have a bunch. But if you don't have multiple squeegees, then you just clean them off in between.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Cheryl said it's supposed to be a brown stem.
Well,
So early for
when you
pumpkins,
first pick them, they're green. So that's what we're going with, a freshly picked pumpkin.
Ken says his brother Greg broke his tibia on the golf course in Hawaii. Someone hit a golf ball and it hit his tibia and cracked it.
Ow.
You gotta be kidding me.
Did he yell 4? That's a freak accident there. Does he live in Hawaii?
Yeah, Greg lives in Hawaii.
Okay, so he's home.
That's just nuts, though. It had to hit him just right, or it had to be hit awful hard. I had a freak accident. You know, you said to Tom Kimmy he had a freak accident. I had a freak accident with my knife.
Yes, you did. Okay, and here we go. And again, oh, that's pretty. It's not meant to be solid. Those little patches are built into the transfer. You can't do that with regular stencils. You can do that with silkscreen because the silkscreen attaches all that detail. Okay, I'm going to get the paper towel. And we've got one more to do. We've got our autumn leaf. and we're going to do a hot mess for our autumn leaf. How does that sound?
Autumn leaves makes me want to sing this song. Me and Nat King Cole, you know.
Where is Alana? Oops, I dropped my fuzzing cloth. Alana, I wonder if this is Bible study night. Might be Bible study night. Okay, and again, I don't really need to fuzz that because there's not that much. Now this one slightly makes a difference because this little stem just slightly curves, but I think I could easily put this on either side because that's not a very big curve. Okay, it's not quite centered. There we go. Okay, so hot mess with green, currant jam, orange,
Brown.
copper.
What's the other brown?
Well, this is camel, and this I think I'm going to do the stem in the bark, or should I do it in camel?
I'd probably use the camel. You've already got shimmer in the green and the.
But you know what? That is awfully close to it, so I think I'm going to use this.
All right then.
I'm going to use that. Okay.
Do that.
Okay,
I've been outvoted again. And yet she continually asks me what my thought is, and I get outvoted.
Now, I need some stir sticks because to do this, I'm going to dab just colors randomly on this. Although I am going to use this brown for the stem.
Ken said the far left that the
currant jam.
Currant jam, but I just told him watch this.
Watch this. Okay, I just wanted that stem brown, but the leaves can be the leaf can be all different. Okay, so I'm going to take just my stir stick and I'm just going to plop bits of color here and there.
Remember that darker color is less.
Some green.
Basically saying that for anybody watching. You want
the darker colors will overtake. And not really any rhyme or reason, but I am kind of trying to make sure every color gets somewhere. Equal representation. Okay, and my Shimmer Harvest. I'm going to put a lot of Shimmer Harvest. I want it shimmery. Okay, now I actually got a little bit of the green in that, so I'm not going to put that section back in my jar. So I cleaned off that green part. Okay, so you can kind of see it's got dots all over the place. So I'm going to take my small squeegee and I'm just going to kind of not smear them together, but just kind of distribute them, blend them. And if I need it looks like I need a little bit more, so I think I'm going to put some green there and some green there. because it's looking like I've got a lot of the currant jam. And put some more of that. Okay, I'm going to go back to this, make sure that's covered. Okay, so I'm not trying to mix it together. I'm not trying to blend it together. I'm just trying to spread it out. Now I'm not going to put this back in a jar because that is all different colors and I don't want to mess up my colors. So let's take this off, see how it looks. Woo! Does that not look like an autumn leaf?
It looks fabulous.
It looks like an autumn leaf.
It looks marvelous.
Marvelous, marvelous. Okay.
Absolutely marvelous.
So I've got all of these waiting to wash. I'm going to give this a dry, and then I'm going to clean up my mess. I would ordinarily say clean up as you go, but I was kind of using all of these colors up to the very end. That aside. Okay, so let's find lids for all of these, and I'm just throwing my squeegees into some water. I'll wash them up later. Shimmer Copper. Now most of these colors come in a palette pack, meaning they come in the paste single size, and I think 6 of these colors are in that palette pack. So if you are interested in doing this and you like these colors, but you don't want to buy full-size jars of 6 or 7 different colors, you could get the palette pack and you'd have enough to do the project. If you are interested in it, I'm having a sale on all of the tiered tray components. So comment the word sale and my bot will send you a link to the sale so you can kind of see. So individual pieces are a certain percentage off. I can't tell you what it is on my business page because that's a public page, but you can take a look, follow that link, find out. And if you buy the entire set, all of the cutouts, all of the transfers, you get an even bigger discount. So, might be worth looking into. Of course, my designers, I know I love that leaf, Liana. I love autumn leaves anyway. And, you know, I could have done the pumpkin in a hot mess with different shades of, I have some different shades of orange, but I like that. Okay, so I'm going to take a minute to clean up a couple of these so you can see how it's done in case you are not new, in case you are not experienced with this. So I've been spraying it with water as we go. Hey, don't be singing. Facebook will say that you are
I'm humming.
You are stealing someone's copyright, and then I will go back into jail. Actually, you'll go into jail because this is you.
Jail. Yay!
Okay, so I've been spraying them, so my paste is still damp. I'm going to start with, you could use a paper towel. I'm going to use a Swedish dishcloth, and I'm just going to wipe off that top layer of paste. Now, our darker pastes are going to stain this transfer, like this pie one. That currant jam is going to stain the plastic, but it doesn't matter. As long as you get it cleaned out of the screen, it will work just as well, whether it's stained or not. And this is basically just getting that top layer off. And then I will bring out the big guns.
The big guns.
The big guns. Now, if I was using a paper towel, when I'm done with this, I would throw away the paper towel. These I can rewash and toss them in the washing machine. Swedish dishcloths are wonderful, but they don't completely clean the transfer. It just gets that top layer off. Then I get out the board eraser, which is like a magic eraser, and I'm going to spritz them again, And I'm going to use this, and this is going to pull all of that paste out of the screen. So I do the top, I flip it over because the paste likes to bleed over onto the back, and any of that fuzz that I put on it earlier, I need to get that off. So I just clean them up like this. I leave them sticky side up to air dry. And I'm just making sure all of the paste is out of that screen. Easy peasy. These are meant to be reusable. You can reuse them. The company guarantees 10 to 12 times, but I know you can get a whole lot more uses out of them if you are conscientious about getting them cleaned up, not letting them sit in dried paste for 3 weeks. That will ruin them. That was dry. Okay, so finish this up. Now, I think I'm not fully prepared to completely assemble this tiered tray. There's a couple more components I want to get. So I think I'm actually going to do a fourth tiered tray episode.
A fourth one?
The fourth one will be what I have learned, because I've been looking on how to stage a tiered tray. So I don't know if I'll be ready to do it tomorrow. I've got to collect some odds and ends. But I think I'm going to do a fourth one. Is that something you would like to see? What I have learned, because I am not the expert. You like to see what I have learned about how to stage a tiered tray.
Ken is giving you a thumbs up.
Because if nobody's interested, I'm not gonna go to a
Ken
little
is
trouble.
giving you a thumbs up,
Okay,
baby.
Ken wants to know how to stage a tiered tray.
Because Ken has at least 4 or 5 tiered trays floating around his house, I'm sure.
Okay, so I've got all of these clean. I'm gonna let them dry, sticky side up. They're really not sticky while they're wet, but once they're dry, that sticky will return. And then I will put the pieces back on their backer sheet and put them away in their little plastic sleeve. And then they will be good to go to use for other things. Now these transfers, you don't have to use them on these cutouts. You could use them on cardstock, watercolor paper, just a plain wood board. You could use them with ink and put them on a t-shirt. You name it. You're not limited to using these things. So let me push this out of the way.
Cheryl says she wants to see it all fancied up.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna kind of place things, but it's not gonna follow any rules. Okay, so I'm gonna show the sides we did tonight, and see, I need some more things. You gotta have plants, and you gotta have things like that.
I told you, I think tiered trays should only have cookies and
Bill
cupcakes
thinks they
on
need cookies, so I'm gonna put that
cookies
right
and
there.
cupcakes.
And some things are just gonna kind of lay here. I don't know. Anyway.
Hi, Vivian.
Hey, Vivian. Welcome. Arkansas. Jeanette's Twin Creek Creations. Welcome. Okay, so a totally imperfect tiered tray. It is not staged well, and I'm not pretending it is, but I've got all of the pieces done.
So, Vivian, do you ever do a tiered tray? Do you know how to stage those things? We're working blind here.
Okay, so we took 3 sessions to make all of these pieces. Almost all of them are double-sided, so you could switch them out, decide whatever your mood is, and so I'm going to do a 4th one, and I'm going to continue some more research on how to stage tiered trays so that they look aesthetically pleasing and blah 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 blah. Oh, I'm going to do a fourth one. So if that's something you want to watch, make sure you are following our page so you get notified. If you'd like to get notified of when we go live, you can text. Oh, what's the number? 208. I just saw it.
You're always forgetting that.
I'm
one.
always forgetting
You need
it.
your
I
little
know it's
sign
19.
out there.
I know it's 1960. Okay, 208-425-1960. If you text the word live to that number, we will give you it's a free service. We give you a text message about 15 minutes before we go live. So, and if you get tired of it, just tell us stop and we'll take you off. Anyway, so we're going to finish this up and make it look gorgeous on our next live, or one of our next lives. So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, if you are interested in any of the pieces or you want to see pricing, you can comment sale and you'll get a bot with a link to all of the sales that I have going on. They're only good till the end of July, so only a couple more days. And at the very beginning of this video, if you were if you weren't with us, you can go back and watch the replay. I talked a little bit about how easy the company has made it to get you a 40% discount all the time on this by becoming a designer. So if that's something that you think, and I am not, I think both Liana and Cheryl, they are both designers under me. I think they will both tell you I am not pushy. But if you are the least bit interested and have any questions, I have a little Facebook group to put you in where you can look up lots of information. And I'm happy to chat with you and let you know, talk to you and see whether it's a good fit for you. Anyway, here is our tray. And we will see you soon. And we're going to get this thing looking magazine worthy. Okay, I missed something.
I'm giggling because I just looked up at the screen and your apron being narrow at the neck and a black shirt.
It looks like I'm not wearing
a really big head.
Big head. Okay, we'll see you later from Big Head and Bill. This is my apron.
The Colonel Sanders drawing, and his tie looks like a little man standing there.
Okay, this is my apron that I did the other night from a man's shirt. Is that not cute? I wore it tonight because I was going to be doing some painting. Anyway,
very nice.
if you want to know how to do that, follow our page, look at some of our past lives. Again, past lives. Never has anyone been pushy with me. I'm a hobbyist, not into selling product. True, and we do not force anybody to do anything they're not comfortable with. And she gets the same 40% discount that I get. So we went a little over an hour tonight. That's okay. We had fun, right? Hanging out with everybody. So whoever is still on, Ken, Liana, Cheryl, Vivian, whoever else, I don't recall who else. I think somebody else was popping on. If you're still here, thanks for joining us, and we will see you again next time. Have a great weekend and do something creative every day. I got to pose for this. Hold on. Yeah, I think should I lift it up?